Live from Prince Edward High School, it's time for Colonels basketball. The Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country. Thank you so much for joining us on this fabulous Friday night. I'm Kyle Haney, and with me tonight, it's been a long time to call this name, folks. We talk about him all the time, but it's been a while since we've been together. Mr. Bob Alvis, the one and only. How are you, Bobby?
I didn't know I was doing the game until I heard you on Tuesday talking to Oscar. So I'll never turn down the opportunity to come to my mother's alma mater city. Went to Longwood University. Didn't go to Prince Edward. Might have stopped by a few times, but I'll tell you what, the Colonel's stopping by looking for a W tonight and getting off that snide.
Colonel's 0-1 on the season. Prince Edward, meanwhile, 1-0 on the season. We'll talk about what both teams did earlier in the week. It's the Subway pregame show. Of course, 3 great locations to eat fresh around town: on Main Street, inside the Walmart, on Clarion Road, and then further up the road on Foster Fuels, inside Foster Fields, on Route 29. Bobby, before we get to our discussion with Coach Harris that we had, your Subway experience tonight, how was it?
I'll tell you, what I like that Robert's done with the 3 locations. You hit Walmart for breakfast, hit Main Street
yes,
for lunch,
yes.
And then on the way home you stop by Foster Fields for dinner. You guys said it the other night, the only wrong choice not going in, the spicy Italian, always a classic. And I'll tell you, a lot of great hot subs. The only reason I didn't get a hot sub is you were bringing it up from Altavista.
Yeah,
so
transport issue, sure. Yeah,
but I'll tell you, you can never go wrong at Subway.
Can't go wrong at Subway. Can't go wrong with Colonels basketball. Glad you have stopped by and joined the party. It gets underway here. We'll talk to the head coach, Troy Harris, in just a moment, and then tip-off in about 16 minutes between the Prince Edward Eagles and the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists, providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Is there a painting project on your to-do list? English's Home Center has added an additional line of paints. English's features Pratt & Lambert Lifetime Warranty Red Seal exterior paints. Choose from hundreds of stunning, beautiful designer colors. Pratt & Lambert interior or exterior paints. Value price to save you money. Pratt & Lambert paints. Never compromise.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Feller's Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Feller's Chevrolet in Altavista.
The memory of the loss of a loved one can be difficult to cope with during the holiday season. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service invites you to a holiday remembrance service Sunday, December 6th at 4 p.m. Pastor Stephen Rabin of Crosspoint Church, Altavista, will conduct a special service to honor families who've lost a loved one during the past year. Sunday, December 6th, 4 o'clock, Finch & Finch Funeral Chapel, Altavista. For a special webcast, visit FinchandFinchFuneralService.com.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns from Farmville, Prince Edward High School, the location. The Colonels in town tonight to take on the Eagles. That means we're talking once again with the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mr. Troy Harris. And Coach Harris, before we get to tonight's ball game, let's review. It was a 39-33 loss to Brookville on Tuesday. You led pretty much 3.5 quarters of the ball game. I'm sure you found some positives to take away, even though it was a loss for you guys.
Yeah, definitely a lot of positives, honestly. Outside of the scoreboard and the free throw shooting, we won every other statistic you could probably come up with. We out-rebounded them. We had more assists than them. And our defense was really good. Very tough-nosed, hard defense. Didn't give up any easy baskets, not too many wide-open layups. So when you win most of the statistical categories, you're probably going to win most games, and it's just the ball didn't bounce our way on Tuesday night.
Yeah, well, let's go to the negatives here from Tuesday night. I think first and foremost, you mentioned it, probably the free throws. What else for you? And mention the free throws, maybe some things you might have done differently the last 2 days.
Yeah, we definitely got a ball in their hand a little bit more and shot a bunch of shots. 8 for 25 from the free throw line, pulling my hair out watching that. And we only shot 28% from the field, too, if I remember correctly. So you could definitely tell those guys hadn't had a ball in their hand for 6 months or whatever. So that's probably the part that let us down. But offense comes and goes, but you can always play defense. And I think that's what we do.
Yeah, I think the defense looks solid for the most part. Let me ask you, when you took the temperature of the team after the loss and Wednesday in practice, how'd you think the guys responded from losing their first game?
Wednesday might have been our most intense practice we've had all year. They knew that one got away from us, that we probably should have won, but you know the old saying, ifs and buts, candies and nuts. That's sort of the thing that happened to us. We were laser focused on Wednesday, even though coming off of a loss, because they know we get another shot at them at their place on Tuesday, and they're just ready to win a game, hopefully, on Friday.
Yeah, tonight, in fact, against the Prince Edward Eagles. Right. Well, we'll let the cat out of the bag. Sometimes we do these interviews the day before, but a little sleight of hand there for you folks in radio world. Tonight it is the Prince Edward Eagles. I overheard you talking to the guys a little bit at practice. You said they're athletic. They don't really have a true post guy. It's more like 5 guards running around out there, and I guess that'll be pretty tough to stop, huh?
Yeah, they have one guy, he's 6'3". He doesn't look like a guard, but he is a guard. He's got that type of skill set. So they like to drive to the basket. They're athletic. They run, and they don't stop running. And we're going to see a lot of that in the Dogwood, or the old Dogwood, I guess they call it now. But so it'll be a good test for us. They've been in state semis past couple years. I know they've lost a lot, but still they're an athletic bunch, and it'll be tough to stop them.
Well, final question here on the Subway pregame show with Coach Troy Harris. Unsung heroes maybe, or hard workers type of guys. I mean, obviously we know the starters, we know the guys coming off the bench, but maybe tell us about the guy or guys in practice that have really been grinding out there and maybe have surprised you and your staff a little bit.
You know, the guy that we're really looking at the most that works really hard, Josh McClure always works hard in practice. There's nothing there. But he's sort of like the silent assassin type. He's really quiet. He doesn't say much, but he's always in the right spot. He's always getting a loose ball. He's always in the right spots defensively as Daquan Poindexter. And last year he started on the varsity and then got it flipped down to the JV. So we always knew it was there. He just sort of wasn't ready last year. And this year he's stepping up big time, and he's filling a huge hole that I'm not sure what we would do if he wasn't in that hole.
Well, great stuff, Coach. Thanks. Best of luck as always. Tip-off between the Eagles and the Colonels in about 20 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
Your station for real country. 105.5 KD Country. WKDE Altavista, Lynchburg, and streaming at kdcountry.com.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about, to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Start your business on a winning note with an Altavista revolving loan. It's an opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Connect with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis II at Altavista Town Hall. Make your move today. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in, bring the family, see your friends at Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns from Prince Edward High School. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Bob Alvis. Bob, I knew it was going to be fun. I didn't know it was going to be this much fun. We needed to throttle it back a little bit. We were laughing around, joking around a lot in the break there. I'm glad you're here. Are you excited for some high school hoops?
We got to get under control. We've already, had 3-player control fouls, and the game hadn't even started yet. But I'm definitely excited. Anytime you get to see Altavista, no matter who's on the bench, no matter who's in the uniforms, everybody comes out of the house in droves. And everybody, I heard John Calipari say it the other night as Kentucky beat by UCLA. We're going to get everybody's best game. And people still feel that way, I think, about Altavista. Back-to-back state champions.
Yep, absolutely. 4 total. It's interesting talking about the pedigree of this Altavista program. Our dear friend, the athletic director up here at Prince Edward, Rodney Kane, he used to be an assistant basketball, assistant football, assistant baseball coach at Altavista back in the early 90s, late 80s, coached with Stu Richardson and some of those guys. And he sort of said the same thing you just said, Bob. He said, hey, look, I know they lost a lot of guys, but this is Altavista. They're still going to be good. They may be, not quite at the pinnacle every year, but more often than not, they're going to be a really tough team to beat. And I think that's going to be the case all year. That was the case Tuesday night, Bob, when the Brookville Bees knocked off the Altavista Colonels. Colonels led that game for 3.5 quarters. So, you think about the timing there, about 29 minutes worth of basketball basically led by the Altavista Colonels. And then Brookville uses that strong fourth quarter to pull away and win by 6. I know you listened to some of our broadcasts, and obviously you and I have talked about it. Main problem was the free throw shooting for the Colonels. 8 for 25 was the final number on that.
You can't shoot like that at the line and expect to win. I mean, that's 17 points you just gave away right there. Everybody will say nothing free about a free throw, and certainly the case. But, I mean, maybe first game jitters. I mean, no December basketball, we normally talk about November basketball, but December basketball, those first 2 weeks, you're really getting ready to feel yourself. And I'll tell you, I like what Coach Harris has done. I mean, the energy and passion that he brings to the game is right up there with anybody that you'll see. And, I mean, obviously he learned from a good teacher, too, in his days of playing and coaching with Mike Cardellaro. And, you got to think 2 head coaches now from that staff last year with Chad Ward up in the Valley as well. So, I mean, it's a very – I think under Mike Cardellaro you always learn. And Troy Harris is now looking to make this his team and put his stamp on it. I mean, obviously you always respect the past, but you want to keep the guys driving the ship on the waters too.
Yeah, you can be modeled after somebody, but you don't want to be a clone or a carbon copy of that person. Interestingly enough, there's an Altavista connection here at Prince Edward. Former Colonel player John Pruitt is an assistant coach for James Scott up here at Prince Edward and has been for 4 or 5 years now. James Scott, by the way, in his 34th season at the helm here at Prince Edward, Bob. That's a number that is not equaled by many coaches in any sport, really, anywhere you go. I mean, to stay, even just a job, to stay at one place for 34 years, pretty doggone impressive, and that's what James Scott has done. And they've been sort of a mirror image of the Colonels in a lot of ways as well. They've won a lot of ball games in the last couple of years. I think the record in the last 2 years for Prince Edward is something like 46-13. State semifinals the last 2 seasons, but just like the Colonels, lost a lot of big guns off that team last year.
Played in a really tough league, too, in what used to be the old Southside District. Might go back to that. We might talk about that later on tonight, but, you talked about 34 years. I mean, when you look at the game the other night with Altavista with Coach Harris and Coach Jester, they don't even have a third of that time,
right,
as head coach. So, I mean, really, you got to – and, 34 years, you talk about it, long to stay at a job, and I do agree, but to still have the passion and energy because, I mean, James Scott, we've seen him out here in the past where he runs around like he's a 30-year-old.
Right. Yep.
And he's got to be older than 30.
Right. He's got to be older than 30. Good point. He couldn't have started here when he was -4. Right. He's only 6 wins away from the 500-win club that Mike Cardellaro is in. So James Scott definitely with a resume full of victories and high moments here at Prince Edward. We'll step aside for another quick timeout. Jump ball will be around here before you know it, less than 5 minutes away between the Eagles and the Colonels. High school basketball, you've got yourself a ringside seat on 105.5 KD Country.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Sam with Best Bet Motor Sales. We started business over 5 years ago with only 10 vehicles and a simple concept to help people out that had less than perfect credit and give them good quality cars. Over the years, we evolved into 2 lots in Central Virginia with over 60 cars in inventory, and we do all types of budget, all types of credit. So remember, if your credit's less than perfect, give us a call here at Best Bet Motor Sales. All cars come with a 90-day, 5,000-mile warranty with the Best Bet Back Guarantee. So for a fun, stress-free buying experience, give us a call. Best Bet Motor Sales, Route 29 South.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant. So we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today, El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Littles Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Littles Heating and Cooling.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
We return from Prince Edward High School in Farmville, Virginia. Colonels on the road taking on the Prince Edward Eagles. Time for our starting lineup, the folks that make our party possible, people like Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. Best Bet Motors, a respected name you can trust, Route 29 just south of the airport. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction services. They're going to do the national anthem here at Prince Edward, so I'll have to finish with our starting lineup in just a moment. Quick timeout, and it's back to basketball between the Eagles and the Colonels when we return to 105.5 KD Country.
If credit card processing is important to your business, I can help. I'm Ramonda Davis of First National Bank, and I'm your local e-commerce officer for merchant card and other electronic business products. Local means I live in Central Virginia. I'm ready to come see you and respond quickly to what you need. Local means I'm focused just on your business needs. For the latest in electronic payment technology and competitive pricing, contact me, Ramonda Davis. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's a good show, man.
Man, that was awesome.
Loud crowd. House salad time.
I'll bring it on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have to do the encore tonight, buddy.
No, they want to see your face.
Go chant your name.
Not it, man. They're saying Brett.
Well, I'm taking this with me.
No. I'll hold it for you.
Seriously, don't touch my salad.
Time for my encore now, son.
The house salad. Grilled chicken atop mixed greens, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, cheddar and jack cheeses, and fried onions. Served with Texas toast. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road, Lynchburg. This broadcast is brought to you by the members of the KD Country Sports Club.
Chef's Drive-In, where the shake machine is shaking and dozens of flavors to choose from.
One Stop Mart, where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
El Cerrito Altavista. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas, it's El Cerrito time.
Altavista Medical and Oncology Massage Therapy. Broad Street can help relieve your pain.
Vista Foods, Altavista, your hometown grocery with the freshest produce and best meats.
McDonald's in Altavista, committed to the community and bringing the world's favorite food.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, Main Street, Altavista, best deals on wheels.
Colonel's Football is brought to you by the Sports Club on KD Country.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns for the final segment. I was in the middle of telling you about the folks that make our award-winning broadcast possible, and the other names include the Moose Family Center in Altavista, bringing communities closer together and celebrating life. Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the winter, warm. You see what I did there, Bob? I screwed it up. Keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. I guess if you like to be cool in the winter, you can set the thermostat for that as well, but I digress. We've also got to thank the First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. English's, your complete home center, now offering a complete line of Carhartt clothing for men. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall. Highview has it all. El Cazador, be sure to try their new menu, Main Street in Altavista. KCD Maintenance, Ken can do it maintenance. Call 665-1333. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The Altavista Office of Economic Development, helping Altavista grow. And, of course, streaming online audio, brought to you by Chad Rakos, your all-state agent in Windhurst. Basketball fans, always in good hands with Chad Rakos.
I like the tune-in app, too.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
wherever you're at,
Yes,
you
sir.
can take that old cell phone and, well, you better have a new one.
Good point.
Smartphone, you get that tune-in app, and you can listen to some high school hoops on a Friday night, seasonable Friday night for December. We could take this outside.
I think we
It'd
could
be okay,
take
but
it out to the
let's keep
black
it
top.
indoors.
I think we should keep it indoors right now, just because we're all set up, the fans are here, etc. Hey, we know we got a lot of fans back home listening. A lot of people thought maybe the drive to Farmville was a little bit too far to make on a Friday night. So we're glad you've popped in and joined our basketball party on the radio. And remember, join the party. That's my saying. That's my new slogan all year long, Oscar. Bob, sorry, I called you Oscar. I screwed it up. I knew I was going to do it. That's my saying all year long, though, Bobby, is join the party. Let us know you're tuned in. You can find Bob and I on Twitter. You can find KD Country on Twitter and on Facebook. You can email info@kdcountry.com. You could call, although that's not the preferred method, just because our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney, gets a little busy during the games. But let us know you're tuned in. We'll give you a shout-out. We'd love to have you along for the party. Starters for both squads. Prince Edward, the home team's going to go with number 1, Zarius Jones. Number 3, Quantavis Nash. Number 4, Delquan Bigelow. Number 15, Montel Phillips. And number 24, Keybon Braxton. Prince Edward wins the tip. Starters on the court right now for the Colonels, Bob, are Nelson Dews, Daquan Poindexter, Mateo Malback, Josh McClure, and Cameron Hughes. Colonels in the road, black jerseys, orange trim. No white trim on there at all, orange trim. Jump shot up by Prince Edward, so I'll have to get the uniform descriptions in a second. Zarius Jones got fouled, tried the jump shot from the left wing. I believe it's a 2-shot foul. Maybe it's 3. It is 3-shot foul, Bob. He was behind the arc.
Not the foul you want to see early on with only 22 seconds in, and Prince Edward is going to have 3 from the stripe.
Foul is number 1 on number 1, Cameron Hughes, for the Altavista Colonels.
Oh, one-on-one violence right there.
That's right. Prince Edward going left to right or south to north from our perspective here, courtside at Prince Edward High School. Eagles are clad in the home whites, little bit of purple trim, purple numbers, Eagle written in the center of the jersey. 7.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. It's a 2-0 Prince Edward lead. Jones hit 2 of 3 free throws. Nelson Dews, left-hand dribble, stops at the top of the key, hands off to Mateo Malback. Malback will backpedal and retreat toward the half-court stripe, Bob.
Got to think Altavista would like to get off to a decent night shooting the basketball. A real struggle the other night against the Bees, and it would probably give the Colonels some confidence early.
Cameron Hughes is going to try a 3 from the right wing. Off the side of the iron, no good. Rebound collected by number 4, Delquan Bigelow. Tried to throw long, but the Colonels got back and fortified the defense very quickly. Mateo Malback with a steal. McClure catches left wing, hands off to Nelson Dews. Nelly's going to try an open three-pointer. In and out, no good. Offensive board by Cameron Hughes. Gives his man the shoulder down low, up and in, good for 2, and we are tied at 2. 6:42 left to play in the first quarter.
Colonels 1 for 3 from the floor so far.
Cameron Hughes on the offensive rebound. Nice job by the 6'3 man, a junior for the Altavista Colonels. Here's Montel Phillips. He'll dribble behind his back, then hand off to Delquan Bigelow. Last time we saw Delquan Bigelow was on the gridiron Very good running back for the Eagles, Bob. Darius Jones, head fakes. He'll use a couple dribbles. Now he'll dish to a teammate along the baseline. No good. But the Eagles have their own rebound. Shot up, no good. Second try, he'll go down for Kevon Braxton. 2 offensive rebounds in that sequence, Bob, and it leads to points. It's a 4-2 Prince Edward lead.
And, you know, a different team than when we used to come up in past and see the Eagles play. They were very long. This team, more of a, you know, mid-sized team. They're not very long out there.
Nelson Dews will try an NBA range 3. Too strong off the back iron. Eagles grab the rebound. That's Darius Jones. He's going to dribble it up, slashing through the defense. Right-hand finish will go down. 6-2. Prince Edward on top. 5:40 left to play in the first quarter. Transition game there, Bob. Modified anyway. He got the long rebound and took it coast to coast.
Jones really just did a great job of slicing through the defense, almost like he was a running back looking for that hole opened up by the line.
Excellent description there by you. McClure's going to pump fake from the right-hand corner. Colonel's working it right to left from our perspective, or north to south. We're kind of here in the south end zone, we'll call it, at Prince Edward. Cross-court pass. It goes left side of the court to Cameron Hughes. Hughes behind the back dribble, and then he got it swatted away as he went to the rack. Colonels will retain possession, though. His last touched off number 15, Montel Phillips.
I'll tell you, it might just be good for the Colonels if they can look comfortable on offense. They do not look comfortable on the offensive end of the floor here in the first 3 minutes.
I would agree with you. Nelson Dews, step back 3. That one's in and out again. Nelly's had a couple that have come close, but none of them have dropped.
Not a bad shot, but you got to have some black jerseys around that goal, one on the weak side and maybe a couple on the weak side, one on that strong side.
Sure. Rebounding just doesn't look like it was in position there for the Colonels when the shot went up, even though Nelson, I'm sure, would have loved to have canned it. 3-pointer coming here from the Eagles. That was Quantavis Nash, no good. McClure grabs the rebound. Josh McClure had 15 boards against Brookville, Bob, and McClure's going to try a 3 right in front of us. That did not draw iron. It's recovered by the Prince Edward Eagles. Delquan Bigelow has it. Chest pass up the far sideline to Quantavis Nash. Now it's back in Bigelow's hands. 6-2, Prince Edward on top. 4.5 left to play in the first.
If you're Altavista, you don't want the crowd to get into this one either. It's a decent-sized gym, but we've seen this place get rowdy and rambunctious in the past.
Very excellent point by you. First shot up, no good for Kevon Braxton. Second will fall, and he's fouled. Braxton is one of the bigger guys on the court at 6'4", and he really used the muscle to get inside there, followed his shot, got his own rebound, stuck it back up and in. It's an 8-2 Prince Edward advantage. Free throw on the way for number 24, Kevon Braxton. That is the first foul on Mateo Malbeck, by the way. 2 for the Colonels as a team. Right-handed shooting Kevon Braxton will sink the free throw, so it's a 9-2 advantage for the home team Eagles. I would think one more score for Prince Edward, Bob, and Troy Harris, the head coach for the Colonels, would think about a timeout.
Yeah, you hate to burn one this early, but you really, I think, have to just stop the game for some reason to get maybe some momentum or keep Prince Edward from having it.
Yep. Oh, ball knocked away. They're going to say it was last touch off of Nelson Dews. It was Darius Jones providing the defense. Nelly thought that it was off Jones, but referees disagreed. You say take it this early, but we're halfway through the first period, so maybe it's not too early to take one. 3:50 left to play in the first, in fact.
Well, and I wasn't at the game Tuesday. You were. I mean, is it deja vu all over again early?
Oh, no.
With the way the shooting's going.
Not at all, because the Colonels, remember, had to lead in that game against Brookville most of the game. Good man-to-man pressure from the Colonels. 3 ball up for Prince Edward. Too strong. They got a couple rebounders there, but Nelson Dews comes away with a nice bounce to grab the board for the Colonels. Altavista lost in the front court as Nelson was trying to go to Josh McClure along the near sideline. 3:20 left to play in the first. 9-2 is the Prince Edward lead. Here's Quantavis Nash. Tried to high step in the lane, but Daquan Poindexter cut him off nicely. Basketball thrown out of bounds off the back wall by number 1, Darius Jones. Colonels possession with 3:13 left in the ball game. Couple substitutes in, Traquan Farmer and Jacob Adams for Altavista, Bob.
I'll tell you, I think Prince Edward still likes to do a lot of what our good old friend Jacob Gruce at formerly of Dan River, now at Cave Spring, used to say, organized chaos.
Sure.
I mean, Prince Edward, when they came down to Altavista back in the day, I think Paul Debnam fired one up 3 steps off the bus. I mean, they don't mind shooting from far out.
Sure, they don't mind doing some unorthodox things. Good man-to-man pressure defense causes the Colonels to turn it over. Jones will inbound right in front of his own bench. Under 3 to play now. 9-2, Prince Edward on top. Thanks for joining us, either with the TuneIn app at kdcountry.com or on good old 105.5. Prince Edward basketball in the front court. That's Jones. Nice ball rotation around the right side of the Colonel's defense. Colonel's got a steal now. I think it was poked away by Traquan Farmer, and Malbeck came away with it. Here's Mateo Malbeck. One hand zip pass down low to Farmer. Farmer going to turn, use the hook in the middle of the lane. Shot won't fall. Rebound battled for. Last touch off the Colonels once again. Seems like we've had some close calls like that, Bob. Both teams are playing hard and getting after it, and I think the refs are in the right positions. They're on top of it.
One and done really hurting Altavista.
Yeah.
They're getting, I can't count the time, Kyle, where they've had 2 shots so far.
They had the one offensive rebound that Hughes stuck back up for 2. So, yeah, the only time they've gotten an offensive board, they've cashed in, but certainly not enough as we're almost 6 minutes of basketball gone by. Traveling violation, about 25 feet away from the bucket on the right wing by Quantavis Nash. On the court right now for the Colonels after some changes, it's Traquan Farmer, Cameron Hughes, Nelson Dews, Jacob Adams, and Mateo Malbeck. 2:12 left to play in the first. 9-2 Prince Edward advantage. Trying to think when that Colonel's bucket came, Bob. Seemed like it was about maybe the 6.5-minute mark or something like that. Does that sound right?
Somewhere around in that neighborhood, maybe a little bit later.
Nelson Dews, go ahead.
Very few shots. I mean, again, you point out, one offensive rebound and a lot of one and out.
Yeah, and if you're not shooting the ball well, you're going to need those extra chances somewhere. No free throws yet for the Colonels either. Cameron Hughes going to pop to the top of the key, try and screen for Nelly. Nelly decides not to use it. Floater from 10 feet won't go. Rebound still loose. No, pardon me. It's collected by number 20, Davian Boxley, and then he gets fouled by Nelson Dews. That's going to be Nelson's first.
I almost think Dews did use the screen, just reversed it because everybody collapsed on that one side. Nelson just took a runner towards the basket.
Yeah, it was crafty. It was a crafty use of the screen. You're right. He didn't run the way that Cameron Hughes came from, but he did effectively use it. 90 seconds left to play in the first. Time flies when you're having fun. Prince Edward with a 9-2 lead. They haven't scored in a while either, honestly. Number 12, Marty Blunt's going to try a jump shot from 16 feet. No good. Cameron Hughes with the rebound.
And I was going to say, Kyle, that's probably the saving grace to the Colonels. Not great shooting yet so far, as Prince Edward has not really been able to put the ball in the basket with any regularity either.
Exactly. Hughes has it in the far corner. Throws it low block to Traquan Farmer. Farmer up with the left hand and fouled. Shot will not go in, but Traquan Farmer is going to head to the free throw line to shoot a pair of free throws. First time the Colonels have gone to the charity stripe tonight, Bob, and this is something we're obviously going to be keeping a keen eye on. 8 for 25 from the free throw line last game. Farmer first one up, a little too strong off the back iron. The accuracy looked good, just a little too long. It's kind of one of those line drive free throws.
So Bob Alvin's knuckleball shot right there. Boxley picks up the foul. It's his first one-team foul against the Eagles. 3 for the Colonels, and wow, we're almost to 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Where has this time gone?
It really has flown by. Second one from Farmer won't fall. Rebound is loose. Jacob Adams had the offensive board momentarily. It's knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it's last touch off of the sophomore. No, pardon me. It's going to be Altavista basketball. There's been a couple times when I think I know who it's off of, and the referee disagrees. Daquan Poindexter will inbound for the Colonels.
I thought that ball was going to hit the goal.
Yep. McClure had to recapture it after losing it momentarily. McClure, left-hand dribble, going to circle the defense to the left. He is fouled, and the shot won't fall. And Josh McClure will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. 59 seconds left to play in the first. It's still a 7-point Eagle lead.
Montel Phillips with the foul, his first. Second on Prince Edward.
McClure eyes the rim. This free throw will not fall down. Saw a lot of the rim but wouldn't go. Coach Harris mentioned in the pregame interview, Bob, that he had the ball in the guy's hands a lot more. You know, the first week there was a lot of defense, not as much offense, not as much shooting. But the last 2 days, he said, we have shot a whole lot more. Both free throws no good there for McClure, so that's 0 for 4 to start out from the charity stripe for the Colonels. Eagle basketball. They've got it underneath on the baseline left-hand post. Jump ball tie-up is the call. Possession arrow going to favor the Altavista Colonels. They wrapped up Zarius Jones as he got underneath the hoop.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're an Altavista fan, you're probably not very optimistic with what's been happening offensively, but the defense, I think, is pretty much just as good as ever so far.
I feel like they've held Prince Edward scoreless for the better half of this, the second half of the first quarter here.
They got their points in a big cluster.
Yeah. Poindexter lost the ball, falls down, pitches it to Cameron Hughes. Hughes goes up, uses the pump fake nicely to get Zarius Jones in the air, and Cameron Hughes is fouled. His shot never even got anywhere near the rim. But Cameron Hughes, with the blonde highlights, best hair in the business, I think, number 1, Cameron Hughes, will go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
Could have been very embarrassing. I thought about doing that myself tonight, but I opted against it.
Yeah. You said you had some discussion about what your look was going to be for tonight.
Yeah, my stylist and I, we couldn't come to a agreement, so I just walked out.
Hughes goes off the window and in for the first free throw. Not sure if it was intentional or not. Cameron Hughes doesn't really show a lot of emotion on his face, so he didn't like laugh or shake his head. I don't know if he meant to go off the backboard or not. Let's see what he does in the second one. That one's short, so I got the feeling he didn't mean to go off the backboard. Either way, 1 for 2 on that trip to the charity stripe. Colonels do cut the lead to 6, 9-3, Prince Edward.
Wise man once told me no pictures on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Was that me?
Yeah.
Looks like the Colonels might be in a zone, Bob. Not quite sure what type yet. 3 ball up, too strong, recovered on the backside by Daquan Poindexter. Colonels going the other way quickly down the near sideline. Malbeck, finds it to Nelson Dews. Nelly did a double dribble, put 2 hands on the basketball. That's another turnover. 4.3 seconds left. Prince Edward's got to go the entire 90 feet. But I'm sure they'd love to get a bucket here before the first quarter runs out. They'll pass along the near sideline. That's Marty Blunt. Blunt looks up at the clock. He's all the way inside the three-point line. Shot up, in and out. No good. We've played 1 from Prince Edward, and it's been a low-scoring affair thus far. Prince Edward 9, Altavista 3. Join us for the second quarter right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet. In Altavista.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We return from Prince Edward High School. Colonels trail by 6. Basketball is great, Bob, but shout-outs are even better. Who's listening out there in radio land or internet land, maybe?
Friends of the program. Johnny Wimbush, former Colonel,
yes,
giving us a listen. Coach Harris's mom. We call her Coach Mom. Listening on the old computer, and our good friend Oscar Briggs, as well as a couple of my friends. Travis Kerr, he's an Appomattox alum. He's interested in that Appomattox game tomorrow. And
I bet.
Miss Raven Story out in Radio Land.
I love it. More shout-outs to come. And like I said, get in touch with us. Join the party. Love what Johnny Wimbush used to do on the gridiron and the hardwood, Bob. That man was a
So did
machine
the coaches.
Well, not the coaches for the other teams. Right. Shot up and no good from the middle of the paint by Keevon Braxton. Maybe we'll tell some more Johnny Wimbush stories in a moment. This one's going to favor the Altavista Colonels, too. The possession arrow, that is. 7:45 left to play in the second quarter.
Altavista might have to win some games 30-29 this year, but their defense is, I think, up for that challenge. You're just going to have to find some spurts offensively as McClure drives all the way in off the window and rattles down.
Slashing through the defense. 9-5. McClure cuts into the lead a little bit more. Nice job by number 30, Josh McClure. Marty Blunt going to try a 3 from the right-hand corner. Too strong. He was fouled. Let's see if they say this was in the act of shooting or afterwards. I believe Mateo Malbeck got him. Malbeck can't believe it. Kind of throws the hands up in the air. No. This is a double foul away from the basketball, Bob. This foul was on number 4, Daquan Poindexter. And on number 20, Davion Boxley. So the old double foul situation.
Don't see that every day.
No. And normally, if you do see it, it's on a pushing and shoving type of exchange. That time, I think Poindexter and Boxley were just battling for a rebound, essentially. Prince Edward will retain possession. This is Blunt to do the honors on the inbound.
That's an arrow on the alternating possession, so Altavista will get it back.
Up and in by Keevon Braxton there on the inbound play from the left side of the hoop for 2, 11-5. First time Prince Edward scored in a while. 7:17 left to play in the second quarter. Nelson Dews thinks about a left wing 3. Good pass. Nice look inside. That's Daquan Poindexter on the finish. Right hand from the right side of the hoop. 11-7. Colonels are cutting into it again. Delquan Bigelow tries an unorthodox layup. Won't fall. Here comes Josh McClure. McClure wants to run the floor quickly. Short pass to Cameron Hughes in the left-hand corner. Hughes will circle the defense to the right. Chest pass to Malback. Malback going to try a three. Off back iron. No good. Rebound collected at the free throw line by Zarius Jones. Jones will spin move around on the far sideline. Now he'll back it out momentarily. Guarded tightly by Daquan Poindexter. Colonel's back in the man-to-man. Jones tried to do a behind-the-back pass. It got knocked off of a Colonel. Eagles going to retain possession. It looks like James Scott wasn't really pleased with the fancy pass from Zarius Jones, and the Eagles don't know that it's their ball either.
Right. Well, that's like we always used to say about dunks. And, I mean, everybody thought Mike Carlero didn't like dunks. He liked them if they went in.
Right. That's right.
You know, that's the same thing with James Scott. I mean, if you're going to make it behind-the-back pass, make sure it works. Colonels have the basketball, Kyle. I'll tell you, it seems like when they're getting those close to the basket shots, bunnies or high percentage, whatever you want to call them, they're going in. That seems like the Colonel's bread and butter right now.
Yeah, McClure tried another long jump shot from about 20 feet from the right wing, and that did not go in. But I think you're right. Close proximity shots are the way to go for the Altavista Colonels right now. Foul on number 4, Daquan Poindexter. That is his second. He was trying to go after a rebound and got on the back of Delquan Bigelow. 6:22 left to play in the second quarter. 11-7 is the Prince Edward lead.
Let me pose a question to you because you're the big-time coach around here.
Here we go.
When do you get comfortable with basketball IQ? Because, I mean, you can only learn but so much in the gym. When do you feel good about your basketball IQ? How long does it take to develop with game time?
Let me ponder on that for a second. Next free throw opportunity, we'll talk about it again. Going to have one here. Shot up and in by Kevon Braxton. Used sort of the right-hand floating hook shot, and he got fouled on the act, so a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. I think you're always building the basketball IQ, Bob. I mean, I think even the guys in the NBA would say, hey, I'm getting smarter out there. I'm doing this better, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know when exactly you get comfortable with it. Free throw, no good. Rebound was captured by Montel Phillips. I think they whistled Prince Edward for a lane violation.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different in terms of basketball IQ because you're used to having guys that played a lot. These guys haven't really been in major minute situations, early game situations, late game situations, so you're really having to develop it on the fly. I like the fact that you're on the road the second game of the year.
Yeah, and a tough place to play, too.
You got to learn to play away from the friendly confines.
A team that was a state semifinalist last year. They're going to get Devontae Mendez. No, pardon me. They're going to get Nelson Dews, I believe, or was it Chancellor Mormon? I'm still trying to wait for the signal. Chancellor Mormon whistled for an illegal screen. Mormon's in the game for his first action. Going to talk about that Lady Colonels Ball Club. I just got an update from Dave Mabry. They are not in action tonight. They played yesterday. We'll tell you how the Lady Colonels fared. And, of course, that's a de facto shout-out to Dave Mabry right there who's listening.
I heard Eleanor Haney's listening.
Our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney, always listening. She's got a good Subway. Yeah, right. She's got a good Subway thing for us that she wants to talk about. We'll save that for the Subway halftime show. 5:44 left to play in the second quarter. 13-7 is the Prince Edward lead. They've got the ball in the front court. They're scoring basket.
The Eagles are creeping closer to the bonus. They're in it, as a matter of fact, right now. That last foul was the 7th, and we've got over half the second quarter left.
Good takeaway by the Colonels there. Mormon helped bat it over to McClure. McClure hands off to Mendez. Mendez snap pass to Nelson Dews. Dews will dribble it out just left of center. Now he hands off to Jacob Adams. Colonels running the 5-out motion offense. No true postman on this team really this year. Nelson Dews tries a long three. No good. Adams tried to battle Delquan Bigelow for the rebound, but Bigelow got the better of him. Bigelow pitches up ahead to Zarius Jones. Now it's back to Nash. Now it's back to Bigelow. Bigelow spin move, gives it up. Colonels man-to-man defense, strong. Braxton got it into the right side of the hoop, but the shot wouldn't fall, and the Colonels got a rebound. Colonels have been better about clearing that rebound and not letting Prince Edward get too many offensive boards, Bob.
Yeah, and you would think, it's hard to set up the press on a missed basket, but with a young group like Altavista, I'm surprised a lot of people don't try to press them a lot more. McClure, free throw line jumper, won't fall down.
Mendez went after it, couldn't hold on to it, and it's out of bounds. Last touch off number 12 for the Colonels. James Scott wants to take a timeout for the Prince Edward Eagles. Let's take it with them. They lead 13-7, 4:37 left to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
The memory of the loss of a loved one can be difficult to cope with during the holiday season. Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service invite you to a holiday remembrance service Sunday, December 6th at 4 p.m. Pastor Stephen Rabin of Crosspoint Church Altavista will conduct a special service to honor families who've lost a loved one during the past year. Sunday, December 6th, 4 o'clock, Finch and Finch Funeral Chapel, Altavista.
I like the way the Colonels are getting into their offense. They're getting into the front court rather quickly, so not wasting a lot of time. And I think that's where you can pressure yourself if you're passing around a lot or dribbling a lot in the backcourt. But Eagles not really pressuring them a lot either.
No, there's been some times where it looks like the Eagles have applied some little bit of token backcourt pressure, but for the most part, not much. Daquan Poindexter with a nice block, and that's a good way to deny the points. Chancellor Mormon collects it on the other side of the backboard. Colonels will walk it into the front court. We played 4 minutes here in this second quarter. Altavista down 13-7. Set play coming up. Looks like they might try and free up Mateo Malback. Instead, they go right corner to Josh McClure. McClure driving through the left side of the paint, and he gets it to go with the floater. 13-9. Josh McClure with a nice bucket. 3:44 left to play in the half.
I don't know if the Colonels have missed one from 8 feet, or I guess they've made all their shots from probably about 8 and in.
Yeah, when they get inside, particularly when they get in the paint, the success rate really skyrocketing for the Colonels. They're on defense right now. Shake and bake move by Nash. He drives, but it's swatted away by McClure. They get McClure on the foul. Looked like he had it clean. He can't believe it. Maybe they're going to get – no, it was a foul. There was 3 or 4 Colonels in the area. Okay, they're going to get Chancellor Mormon. Chancellor's sister, Oscar, Addison Mormon, a very good Bob, sorry. A very good player for the Lady Colonels. She's sitting at the scores table actually doing the book tonight for the Colonels because the Lady Colonels played yesterday, lost in overtime 38-36. They'll play tomorrow at Western Albemarle against Covenant Christian. They're up there for a tournament. They're not playing that tournament on back-to-back nights, though, so that's why they played yesterday and then Saturday. And I apologize about calling you Oscar.
Well, I love it when you can go to Crozet because I just love saying Crozet, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Western Albemarle always a tough place to play, even if you're a neutral team.
Yeah, I would think so. Scramble for it. Couple bodies hit the floor. McClure slid out of bounds into the scorer's table right in front of the aforementioned Addison Mormon. He'll hop back up. Everybody's okay, and it's Colonel basketball. They'll inbound right to the left of head coach Troy Harris.
I knew ice hockey was coming back to Roanoke. I didn't know it was coming to Farmville, too. His body is slipping and sliding all over the place. 3:09 to go before we reach intermission. 14-9 Eagles.
Foul away from the basketball.
Against Altavista.
Yeah, they got Cameron Hughes, number 1. A little bit too much contact. You see he was trying to free himself up. We've seen quite a few fouls called away from the ball, Bob. They're doing a nice job of making the guys play clean and doing a nice job of watching everything. You know, I think as an official, sometimes you're kind of a fan sometimes, too, so you can get trapped just looking at the ball like everybody else.
And, you know, the thing that's different up here, these guys did the first game, too, so they're warm.
Yeah, we've talked about the pros and cons of that. Prince Edward basketball. Walking violation there. Quantavis Nash took too many steps. Give Nelson Dews credit for applying some pretty good pressure. 2:51 left to play in the half. It's a 14-9 Prince Edward lead.
James Scott going to call another timeout with 2:51 to go. This one may be a full.
Either way, we'll take 30 seconds of it. 14-9, Colonels trail. Under 3 to play here in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
14-9 our score. Prince Edward on top. They've led the entire game thus far. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Bob Alvis. Let me say that again.
Are you sure?
He is Bob Alvis. He is not Oscar Briggs. You know, I've been doing a lot of games with Agent Zero, so you're not too mad at me, are you? Just a little mad? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad?
15, but you know, we'll take it down a notch. A couple more shout outs there in Radio Land. My friend Cam Garvin, he's a former Gretna Hawk and a Bridgewater Eagle football player. He is listening tonight, checking out some good basketball action.
Excellent. More to come. Let us know you're listening. Join the party. Nelson Dews, head fake, right hand dribble. Tried the soft touch with the right hand underneath. Got his own rebound, though.
No
nice
business
job.
getting that either.
He really wormed his way in there nicely. Another shot up by McClure, no good, but Jacob Adams grabbed the rebound. Colonels are going to grab another offensive rebound. They couldn't get many in the first quarter. They got 3 or 4 on that sequence alone. 14-9, they lead. They'll set up shop on offense again and restart things. McClure has it just outside the three-point line, top of the key. Now left wing to Daquan Poindexter. Poindexter, too many steps as he tried to slash to the bucket. So I know they didn't get any points out of it, Bob, but I think a nice exchange there for the Colonels to get those 3 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and if you're at Prince Edward, you've got to be disappointed in that because that's hustle plays. That's hustle points Altavista is getting. I mean, you know, fortunate for you if you're an Eagles fan, they turn the ball over. But, I mean, you cannot allow 3 or 4 shots just because of Altavista wanted it more than you did on that play.
Colonels definitely did. Out-hustled them, outworked them. Low pass tried to skip in there by Kevon Braxton. He was trying to go into the low post, and too low. It ends up getting out of bounds. Colonels will take over. Under 2 minutes to play now in the first half. Altavista trailing by 5. Daquan Poindexter catches top of the key, 25 feet away from the basket. Now it's to Nelson Dews in between the circles. Nelly directing traffic, going to use his right hand and work to his right. He'll lob it in for Jacob McClure, but it's tipped away and ends up in the arms of Marty Blunt. Eagles going the other way. Bigelow, right hand dribble, full speed. Throws up the floater, and it goes in. Delquan Bigelow with the leaning floater for 2. 16-9. Prince Edward back up 7. 1:24 left to play in the half. Poindexter driving, and he's bumped. That's on the floor, not in the act of shooting. Should be the 16th foul on Prince Edward. So no shooting violation just yet, Bob. Altavista, meanwhile, has committed 9 team fouls in this half.
So one more Altavista commits, and that'll be 2 for the Eagles in the final 122. If I'm Altavista, I'd love to get it to a 4-point margin.
Sure. 1:19 left to play. They've certainly got enough time to do it. Nelson Dews will walk it in towards the defense. Right-hand dribble, crossover dribble now. Everybody else got the floor spread. Spacing looks good. Nelson's going to set a screen now for Josh McClure. Colonels are working hard on offense. 3 ball, back iron, no good. Recovered by Daquan Poindexter, though. Another offensive board for the Colonels. McClure going to try and drive, going to try and manhandle his way through. He bumps into the cheerleaders over there. And how about Josh McClure? Chivalry is not dead. He bumped into him, and he apologized to like 4 of them while he was over there. My bad. Even though they are standing a mere 4 feet from the out-of-bounds line. McClure will go to the free throw line.
Foul is on Marty Blunt. His first.
And McClure had 2 guys draped on him, Bob, and he, like I said, just trying to muscle his way through there. Going to call it a 1-and-1? Interesting. I could have sworn Josh was in the act of shooting. Well, everybody, yeah.
The announcer said 2.
Either way, the shot went in. Everybody went to rebound like it was only 1 shot. Yeah, it's 2 now. 16-10. Colonels cut into the lead. Second on the way from the right-hand shooting McClure. Looks very good and goes down. So McClure missed a couple earlier, cans a couple there. That's good to see. Colonels trail by 5 again. Under 1 minute to play. 57.7 seconds left. Nelson Dews almost got a pickpocket steal. Gambled a bit. Now he's got to hustle back. 5-on-4 momentarily for the Eagles. Let's see if they can get anything out of it. Braxton puts it up and in right from underneath the hoop. Did a nice job to use the elbows and the shoulders to get some space. 18-11. Prince Edward back on top by 7. Malback driving, crossover. Will it fall? Yes, it will. Malback took some contact and just sort of heaved it up towards the rim as he was going to the deck. And he'll end up with a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. 18-13 again.
A shot that would make any realtor proud as that hit pretty much every inch of the estate.
Malback. Free throw is good, so give Mateo credit for the old-fashioned 3-point play. And the Colonels have it to that number Bob was talking about. They trail by 4. 38.6 seconds left to play in the half. Malback had 6 points the other night against Brookville, Bob. 18-14 is the Prince Edward lead. Bigelow's just going to walk it in. Bounce pass to the left wing, finds Quantavis Nash. Now he's got it to Marty Blunt. Colonels may be back in that zone again. Is it a 2-3 zone?
That's what it kind of looks like, but then they kind of look like they go back into a man. So
that's one place when we got a press box, it's easier to identify the defense. Free ball on the way from Nash. Too strong, didn't even touch rim. Adams gets the rebound, and he wants to hurry. Now he slows it down to a fast jog along the far sideline. Chest pass to Nelson Dews. Nelson spin move up and in. Nice flashy move there from Nelson Dews, and the buzzer sounds. Colonels got a nice little burst there at the end of the half to cut the lead to 2. 18-16. Prince Edward still on top as we head to the Subway halftime show on 105.5 KD Country.
A full line of men's Carhartt clothing has just arrived at English's The Complete Home Center. Carhartt, known for its rugged durability, making it great for work and play. English's carries coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats in sizes up to 4X and special orders available. Hunting season is here. The holidays right around the corner. So shop English's for all your Carhartt clothing at 1522 North Main Street, Altavista. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1.
Hello, this is Jerry Miley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Start your business on a winning note with an Altavista revolving loan. It's an opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Connect with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis II at Altavista Town Hall. Make your move today. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway halftime show has arrived, and it finds the Colonels trailing by 2, 18-16. They were down as much as 9 at one point, Bobby, so it was a good job by the Colonels to get back into it. You said, hey, Coach Harris would probably be happy with a 4-point deficit at half. Got 2 better than that, down 18-16. Before we get to basketball, let me briefly mention what our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney, was talking about with Subway. She mixed it up and went with the coffee for dinner, the Seattle's best coffee. Robert Duff has been telling myself and a lot of people about how good it is. And you can get it any time. It's not just for breakfast. You can get the coffee anytime. So you need a little bump. You need a little pick-me-up. You get the coffee like our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney, did. It's really great.
Some people like to stay awake all night.
I know.
Or some people have to stay awake all night. Maybe you're listening to the game and you got to go in and work that third shift.
Yeah.
On a Friday, which rough life. Believe me, that is not fun to work the third shift on a Friday. But tell you, Colonels, they're putting in their overtime. 18-16 as they are trailing by a bucket. Kyle, they won that quarter 13-9, but it felt like much more just in terms of the way they picked up speed. 3 points the first quarter, 13 points that second quarter.
Well, let me go back to what you just said about overtime and putting in the work. Doesn't it feel like the Colonels are out working Prince Edward on offense and on defense? I mean, it really feels like the Colonels are hustling around and getting after those loose balls out there.
Yeah.
Sprinting to the spots, that kind of thing.
Rebounding the Colonels definitely, I think, I don't know if they really deflated Prince Edward a lot, but it really seemed like the Colonels maybe inflated themselves with just the rebounding. I mean, I don't think the offense has been, anything that is Troy Harris is going to put in the trophy case.
Right.
But I think the rebounding, points are going to come here and there. If you play defense and you can rebound and just get some hustle points, things are going to be better more often than not.
I think Coach Harris would say that. I think pretty much any coach would say that. Say, hey, let's take care of the defense. Let's take care of the rebounding. Let's have the energy. Let's hustle out there. And the offense will take care of itself, which is essentially what you and I just said in a long form dissertation form there. But that's what the Subway halftime show is for. You know, you got to talk about things. Dissertations. Send yours in. We'll talk about it. Prince Edward's already out of the locker room, so Mr. Scott did not talk to his group very long. But we'll talk some more. Let's take a time out, Bob. I want to let you get your thoughts together. Bob's working on some stats, and I'm sure he's got many other things in the mind.
More dissertations.
The hamster is always spinning around in that wheel upstairs. That is Bob Alvis's brain. Colonels, they trail by 2, 18-16. So glad you're taking part of your Friday night to join our party. Subway halftime show returns right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Prince Edward High School is the site. We return to it's actually Prince Edward Middle School, you know, Bob, but that happens a lot.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Where like basketball games, as I'm handed a note here by the lovely and talented Addison Mormon. She said, thanks for the shout out last week. That's from her mother. And there she is, waving in the stands. Look at that. She's trying to raise the roof. I love the energy. See, that's what we talk about when we say join the party, Bob. It pumps us up. It brings us to life.
You know,
I love it.
We were talking about it on the way up. I was never the mayor of Altavista. You become the de facto. I mean,
Mike Sharna says that's Cliff Lee.
I'll tell you, I think you and Cliff Lee have attended the classes together to get that honorary, because you're just hobnobbing with all the, and you used to get on me for talking to people. Spending 10, 15 minutes.
When we were on the air.
We're on the. Are we live?
Are we live now? We'll do it. Hey, we'll do it live. Go ahead. What were we going to say? Lee Stinnett.
Not listening, but watching us from the top row.
Oh, is it? Well, he should raise the roof then too.
He's in the house.
Interesting, as I scan the Colonel section up there, they brought a decent amount of fans. I see our buddy Dante Poindexter, the big cat, the human wrecking ball up there, taking in the ball game, and I'm just trying to see whose parents and things aren't here. So I know we've got a lot of folks listening. We don't want to leave anybody out. What else you got for me, Bob?
Our friend Jerry Eccles,
love Jerry
from Ringgold, not listening, but giving us a score.
Okay.
He might be listening at the same time. I don't know. Dan River hosting Tunstall tonight in Ringgold. Wildcats up 34-17.
Okay. Good stuff down there. We like to keep an eye on all the other games. This is the Subway halftime show.
Gonna see them.
If you're wondering what we're doing. Yes, they are going to see the Dan River Wildcats. Wildcats have really been a thorn in the Colonel's side past 4 or 5 years, but then again, who haven't the Wildcats been dominating in the past 5 years? I mean, what a great program down there at Dan River. Back to the Colonel roll call. I want to send a shout-out to our very good friend and KD Country colleague, Doris Robinson. You remember Doris Robinson. She likes to tune in quite a bit. She, of course, grandmother of Ashton Robinson. Traquan Farmer is in that family. Oscar and I bumped into them up after the Riverheads ball game in the gas
young enough to
stations
look
there.
like sisters.
Well,
I mean,
good point. Yeah, Doris looks very young. How does she have grandkids?
Well,
is what you're thinking.
You know
when
what I
see
always
her.
heard Doris like to?
What's that?
Halftime stats.
Oh, she
and
did.
I've got some numbers.
Fire them up because we're running out of time here.
Altavista, Cameron Hughes with 3 points. Mateo Malbec also had 3. Daquan Poindexter.
I was just talking
2.
about Dante.
Yeah, you messed me up. Nelly Dews with 2 and Josh McClure with 6. I said that wrong too. No, I said Josh.
You said Josh.
Jacob in
I
my
know.
head. For Prince Edward, the Eagles led by Braxton. He has 11 points. Bigelow with 2. Nash hit a free throw, and Zarius Jones 4 points early on in this one. And we have an 18-16 ball game as the Eagles trying to get some life going.
Yeah, they're trying to pump themselves up. The crowd's getting behind them a little bit. It is a good crowd here at Prince Edward. It's not quite as big as when we used to come up here back in the day, Bob. A lot of people don't remember, and some do, I'm sure. But Prince Edward was a member of the Dogwood District for a while. Those were some real battles. Of course, you and I watched them take on William Campbell in football, and obviously Prince Edward and Altavista in football. And it was that was a real meat grinder back then when Buckingham and Prince Edward were in the Dogwood.
Tim Hartless and I were talking about that prior to the game tonight. You know, when Prince Edward, Altavista, Dogwood District, it was a loaded district back then. The split district too.
Yeah,
which a lot of people may have forgotten. Altavista is going to go south.
East, south to north. Yeah, some direction. All points in between. Subway halftime show concludes. We're already 15 seconds into the third quarter. McClure, left-hand block. He'll fade away with the jump shot. No good off the back iron. One and done again that trip for the Colonels as Nash will bring it down for Prince Edward. Bang on the 3 ball from Zarius Jones from the right wing. So that happened quickly. 21-16, the Prince Edward lead back up to 5.
Really bad possession for Altavista. No black shirts. The rebound, then the screen was set. Not letting McClure get out there.
Cameron Hughes tries a 3. It won't fall. Rebound was loose. McClure thought he had possession of it. He was knocked away. This ball's off the back wall, and it will stay with the Altavista Colonels. 7:14 left to play in the third.
Coach Harris definitely wanting the foul called as McClure pretty much got bumped into Charlotte County on that one.
Nice wraparound pass by Poindexter to get into Nelson Dews. Dews, 10 feet, middle of the lane, jump shot, book it. Nice shot by Nelson Dews. Found himself surprisingly open for being so close to the basket. Another 3 ball on the way from Quantavious Nash. No good. There's the rebound from the blue-collar man, Josh McClure. He tried to pass it over to Malbec. It hit the back of Hughes' foot. Colonels are probably fortunate they retained possession. 21-18.
Don't know if you can call the kick ball off the back of the foot. I've never really seen that.
A couple of the fans here were questioning whether that could be a kickball. Floating jump shot, no good from Nelson Dews. Rebound recovered by Kevon Braxton. He's a 6'4" junior for Prince Edward. Interesting when you scan the Prince Edward roster, Bob, it's all juniors and seniors. Colonels have mostly juniors and seniors, just 2 sophomores on the roster.
Prince Edward used to have that stray freshman hanging around the roster too, like Altavista did. And if you can get on the roster at Prince Edward as a freshman, you know you've got something going. Steal for the Eagles.
Great point. This is Braxton going the other way. Throws it over his shoulder to Bigelow. Bigelow can't finish. That's because he was knocked around by Mateo Malbec. And another great display of sportsmanship. Malbec helps him up. I could read his lips. He said, hey, man, you all right? And they kind of have a little half hug. You got to like to see that, Mr. Alvin.
I do. You know me. I'm sportsmanship through and through.
I mean, you can be competitive without being dirty, and, when the whistle blows, you say, hey, you all right? That kind of thing.
That's what I tell Anna and Katie when we play that little pop shot, and I give them an elbow. I'm like, no harm.
Because you can't lose to them.
Right, exactly.
Free throws coming up for Delquan Bigelow, number 4 for Prince Edward. He rattles the first one in. Chancellor Mormon is going to check in. We've been talking a whole lot about the Mormon family. Let's see the junior, number 5, Chancellor Mormon, on the court again. He joins Mateo Malbec, Josh McClure, Cameron Hughes, and Nelson Dews. They're the 5 Colonels out right now. High arcing free throw goes in for Delquan Bigelow. So give him credit for 2 of 2 that trip. 23-18. Prince Edward back up 5 again.
We had to travel east, and Bigelow, the beast from the east.
I love it. Nelson Dews going to drive right baseline to the side of the rim. Shot won't fall, but he's fouled. He hits the deck. Cameron Hughes took some contact actually from Nelson as Nelly was on the way down. I think Cameron's going to just be able to walk that off, but who knows?
Did you get the reference, or are you just saying that to be nice? Beast from the East.
Bigelow,
Bam Bam Bigelow?
Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East. Always got to slide a professional wrestling
1980s
reference
WWE
in.
fans out there rejoicing right now.
Is there a lot of them?
I heard a few here
I think
and there.
there should be more. If there isn't. First free throw good for Nelson Dews, 23-19. Prince Edward on top. They've led the entire game by as much as 9 for a few moments. Seems like the lead's been hovering around 5 and 7 a lot. Now it's at 4. Nelson Dews misses the second free throw. McClure tried to go for the rebound. They're going to call a jump ball. Josh McClure thought he went over the back. He's going to get a jump ball for his troubles. Possession arrow favors Prince Edward.
And it's funny, when you see coaches argue a little bit about that, they lose the arrow. So, I mean, still on a jump ball, even if you get it, you're still a loser in a way.
Ballback's got a steal. Bounced around off of Marty Blunt. Malback fouled by Blunt as he went up to the hoop. Shot hit the side of the backboard, but Mateo Malback going to travel to the charity stripe.
And, I talked about basketball IQ, and Coach Harris and Coach Tinsley and the rest of the crew can do all the coaching they want. But when you get a situation like that, Mateo's got to know if you can take it up and get some contact, you're going to the line. It's not something you can do as a coach. Hey, Mateo, real quick, take that shot out.
Right. Yeah, you can yell something out, but the reactions have to be quicker than that. First one good for Mateo Malback. Second one good as well. Colonels are getting a lot better from the charity stripe, Bob. 2 of 2 that trip for Mateo Malback. 23-21. Altavista down 2 again. Mormon's going to try and D up number 1, Zarius Jones, over here on the left wing. Wing closest to us. We are courtside at Prince Edward High School. Eagles in the home whites, working right to left or north to south from our perspective. We're in the south end zone. Ball goes inside to Braxton. Nelson Dews got a steal and just shoveled it to Chancellor Mormon. Coach Harris burned a timeout to save the possession. We'll take the timeout with them. Colonels trail by 2, 23-21. 5.5 left to play in the third on 105 KD Country.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Sam with Best Bet Motor Sales. We started business over 5 years ago with only 10 vehicles and a simple concept to help people out that get less than perfect credit and give them good quality cars. Over the years, we evolved into 2 lots in Central Virginia with over 60 cars in inventory, and we do all types of budget, all types of credit. So remember, if your credit's less than perfect, give us a call here at Best Bet Motor Sales. All cars come with a 90-day, 5,000-mile warranty with the Best Spec Back Guarantee. So for a fun, stress-free buying experience, give us a call. Best Bet Motor Sales, Route 29 South.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
We return from Prince Edward High School. Colonels trail by 2. You're listening to 105.5 WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg. Mateo Malback will walk it into the front court after the timeout by head coach Troy Harris. Foul away from the basketball. They're going to whistle a Colonel for it. Believe they got Mateo Malback for an illegal screen. Or did they get Josh McClure? Malback is number 3. McClure is number 30. I saw the official give a 3. They got it on Josh McClure. It's McClure's second. Colonels with some full court man-to-man pressure. Marty Blunt's going to jog it into the front court, angling to his right. Now he'll turn his back to Mateo Malback. Nice defense by Mateo. Oh, shake and bake move. Bigelow going to the rack with the headband, right hand, and scores. Delquan Bigelow ups the Prince Edward lead back to 4.
Tell you what, though, Prince Edward crowd really has not been rambunctious and boisterous tonight in this. I think helps out Altavista a little bit more. You know me, I'm always tough on the crowd, home or away.
They haven't sprung to life the way I thought they would, maybe because Prince Edward can't get any sustained runs going. 25-21, Prince Edward does lead by 4. And again, if you joined us late, Prince Edward has led this entire basketball game by varying degrees. Foul is on the Eagles. It's on Delquan Bigelow, just his first. Colonels will inbound. McClure gets free from the left side of the hoop, off the window and in, 25-23. Colonels cut the lead to 2. It's becoming like a broken record how we've been saying that, Oscar. Oh, man, Bob, sorry.
Just don't talk.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
take the play-by-play. No, you take it, man. Take the play-by-play.
Just call me fella.
Fella? 4:26 left to play in the third quarter. Colonels trail by 2.
I believe I will be rejoining you next Friday. There's a game, I believe.
Yes,
correct?
yes, yeah. If I didn't scare you off, by
everybody
calling
in
you
Radio Land, go ahead. You know, if you want to bet a Subway from one of Robert's 3 locations, winner buys. How many times will Kyle call me Oscar?
Over under on the amount of times that I call Bob Oscar.
It's a good old family gathering.
We're having some time to chat here, Bobby, because the officials are talking to the guys about cleaning it up on the court. There's been some back and forth. Prince Edward stacked up for the inbounds play at the free throw line, and the Colonels kind of bumped in there and shoved around and got in there before the ball even went in play. Loose ball finds Delquan Bigelow. Traquan Farmer tracks down a 15-foot rebound at the free throw line, and the Colonels are going the other way. Special shout-out coming out to a good buddy of mine in just 1 second. Nelson Dew is going to study the D, eyes the rim, tries the crossover dribble, and lost the handle, but that's because he was fouled by number 12, Marty Blunt, for the Prince Edward Eagles. 4:07 left to play in the third. Colonels trail by 2. Cameron Hughes is going to inbound on the far sideline in front of some very eager and anxious Prince Edward fans. We've got a story about the Prince Edward fans getting a little too eager, Bob. Want to save it for when we have a free moment?
Sure.
But as soon as I say that, I think about maybe I should have just said it right there, right? Malback in a drive, right hand, shot up and in, and he's fouled. Mateo Malback, the junior, slashing to the hoop, scores the bucket, and a chance to give the Colonels the lead, Bobby. We're tied, 25-25.
It's a shade under 4, and Altavista will look for their first lead of the night.
Nice play by Mateo Malback to get free. Sensed a hole in the defense. Free throw no good by Malback, so we'll stay tied, 25-25. There's a violation during it anyway, so it wouldn't have counted for the Colonels. They'll apply the full court man-to-man defense again. Prince Edward got to go the full 90 to score.
Colonels in the bonus on the next one. Emotional.
25-25. Adams has got a steal for the Colonels, and the Altavista Colonels have snatched the lead for the first time in the ball game. Jacob Adams, a sophomore, with the steal and the layup. Shot no good on the other side. Scramble for it. WE reference, it's like a cage match in the paint there, Bob. Quantavis Nash is going to settle it down for Prince Edward, who find themselves down by 2 for the first time in the game.
Crowd wants to get into it. Now probably a good time.
It would be. Bigelow's shot never got to the rim, but Prince Edward held on to the ball. Farmer going after it. He's tackled. I think the foul's going against Delquan Bigelow. Altavista basketball after a little bit of a physical battle inside there on the Prince Edward end of things. James Scott's going to take a timeout. We'll take it with them. Colonels lead by 2, 27-25. Don't go anywhere. The action's hot and heavy on 105.5 KD Country.
Hi, I'm Tracy Robinson of First National Bank. Did you know there are great home mortgage opportunities available right now? With rates being at an all-time low and 100% financing, our recognized mortgage lenders will deliver the right loan for your needs. Put this together with our other progressive mortgage products, our fast local service, and we're ready to lend. First National Bank, over 100 years of dependable custom banking. For you and your money, that's important. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
27-25. Colonels on top at Prince Edward High School. 3:27 left to play in the third quarter. Colonels basketball. Look like the Eagles are setting up some sort of a half-court trap. They've got a turnover right away out of it. Colonels never really got the ball inbound successfully. 3:20 left to play in the quarter now. Eagles trying to tie or take the lead. They get Cedric Hensley free on the left wing for a 3. Shot won't go. There's Nelson Dews for a rebound on the right side of the hoop. Nelly's going to weave in and out of traffic. Dishes to Malback. Malback pull up from 15 feet is good. Mateo Malback taking the game up to level 10 here. Colonels on top, 29-25. Last 4 have come from Mateo Malback. 3-ball good from Cedric Hensley. Now the back and forth has begun, Bob.
Hensley didn't have a man within 5-6 feet of him.
Yeah, Hensley very free right in front of us. Zone defense from Prince Edward. Colonels are going to slow it down to try and diagnose it. They lost the basketball. It got poked out of Cameron Hughes' hands. 29-28. Colonels lead by 1. Behind the back crossover dribble from Zarius Jones. He gets it to Hensley again. This shot hit the top of the backboard. That's a violation. Stop play. Colonels ball. Bob's got a smile on his face.
Getting wild.
It is getting wild.
This is a Farmville I know and love.
It's vintage Farmville up here. High lob pass goes to Nelson Dews on the far sideline. He catches about a foot inside of it. Now it's all the way over on the right side of the court to Daquan Poindexter. Colonel studying this zone, trying to work around the perimeter. Nelson driving, try to go in the middle to Mateo Malback. Jump ball situation. Possession arrow should be favoring the Colonels. Let me send that special shout out, Bob. My good buddy Daniel Tanner and his lovely bride Dana listening down there outside of Greensboro, High Point area. He's excited about the Bronco Mendenhall hire at UVA. Best name in the business for sure. Jacob Adams up off the window and in. You know that name well by now, don't you, Colonel fans? Jacob Adams with the bucket, 31-28. Colonels pull back ahead. Well, they were ahead before, pardon me. They pull ahead by 3. It's getting so wild in here, I'm having trouble keeping it on the script and keeping things straight. Man-to-man defense for Altavista. This is Nash driving. Shot won't fall. Rebound loose. Collected by Mateo Malback along the baseline. Here comes Nelson Dews through the middle of the court. Now angles his way to the right.
I really think Altavista can step on the throttle here a little bit. It seems like Prince Edward is getting a little helter-skelter out there and playing a little wild.
I agree.
And there's good wild and there's bad wild. This is not the good wild right now.
Like you said, the controlled chaos that our good buddy Jacob Bruce talks about, and then just flat-out wild.
Right.
Pump fake. Jacob Adams driving, tries to sidestep a man to the hoop.
Called a travel.
Whistling for a traveling violation. I'll tell you, Bob, that Daniel Tanner, not just a great UVA fan, a great sports fan. He's a big Packers guy.
Probably jumped so high last night.
Yeah. Well, we can't get into that whole situation, but let's just say the Packers with a miracle win. Colonels on top by 3. 1:15 left to play in the third. Man-to-man defense, full court pressure. The Colonels sag off a little bit and let Prince Edward get it into the front court. 67 seconds remain in the quarter now. Eagles looking to pull closer or perhaps even tie with a 3-ball. Colonels working hard on the defensive end, aren't they, Bob?
They are. That's where they're going to win these games.
Darius Jones will try a long 2. No good. Rebound by Braxton. Braxton turns around, spins, puts it to the hoop. They're going to whistle Prince Edward for something, I believe.
No, they whistled it against Altavista. They just let the man out near there call it.
He was pointing the other way, but he was pointing at
You don't see that every day. I kind of got confused there at first, too.
It doesn't take much to get me confused.
No.
It's going to send Kevon Braxton, the 6'4 junior, to the free throw stripe with 48 seconds left to play in the third. Misses the first. McClure checks back in the ballgame. He'll join Chancellor Mormon, Cameron Hughes, Daquan Poindexter, and Mateo Malback.
You talk about what a good baseball player Daniel Tanner was at JF. He went to that state quarterfinal team, I believe, when they played against Martinsville.
That's right.
Back in the day, too. That was a fun team to watch. This Altavista team is a fun team to watch. A little bit different. It's not an offensive juggernaut, but they really they make you earn your points on the other end.
Yeah, that JF team that you're talking about, a lot of great shooters on that team, and they would shoot it 3 steps off the bus, too.
Yeah.
Colonels, they're just going to outwork you, out-tough you. Daquan Poindexter will try a 3, though. Hit the front of the iron, no good. High rebound collected by Kevon Braxton.
Don't know if that was designed or not.
Oh, boy, basketball lost, out of bounds. Colonels are going to get it back. Nelson Dews, again, applying the pressure. He didn't get a steal, but he put enough pressure on Zarius Jones that Jones couldn't handle the pass.
28.6. You've got to wonder what Altavista hold for 1.
Colonels an inbound underneath their own scoring bucket. Hughes catches, now drives. Floater up, no good. Rebound collected outside the paint by Daquan Poindexter. Good offensive board by number 4 for the Altavista Colonels.
Another opportunity to develop the basketball IQ. Save for the last shot.
Great point, Bob. It looks like that's what the Colonels have in mind now. Clock down to 10. McClure, he's a full 30 feet away. Now he'll pull up to the 3-point line. Side of the iron, no good. Rebound collected by Prince Edward. They're going the other way. 2 seconds left. Leaning 3-pointer put up by Quantavis Nash. Didn't even draw iron. We've played 3 quarters. Colonels trailed at half. They lead by 2, 31-29 at the end of the third. 4th quarter on the way. Don't you go a-changing. You've got it tuned to 105.5 KD Country.
Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road, Lynchburg.
Man, that house salad looks good.
Dude, it's so good.
How about one bite for the road?
No.
Sharing is caring.
No. You can't have any of my salad, bro.
Wait, I got it right here.
I got $20 in a dream, yeah.
No, that's a hit right there, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
The house salad. Grilled chicken atop mixed greens, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, cheddar and jack cheeses, and fried onions. Served with Texas toast. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Prince Edward High School is the site. It's the Colonels and the Eagles. Altavista up by 2, 31-29. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Bob Alvis. Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday night. Nothing like a good high school basketball game on a Friday night, Bob. Thoughts for the fourth quarter here as we get ready to fly into it?
You know, I've always been a big fan. If you can win each quarter, you're going to win the game.
Colonels have won 2 out of 3, correct?
If they win the fourth, I got a good feeling that they can win this basketball game. They're up 2, 31-29. I mean, I know it's simple and foolish, but really, seriously, if you just concentrate on being the better team each quarter and winning the quarter, it doesn't matter if you win it by 1 point or 20 points.
Yeah.
You're going to either win by 4 or win by 80 at the end of the game if you go with that math. So I think Altavista here just has to keep Prince Edward taking those bad shots. I don't know if it's Altavista's defense or if it's Prince Edward see something that they feel like they can do offensively.
Maybe a combination of both. Yep. I mean, I think foul away from the basketball again. This time they're going to get Kevon Braxton. He was battling with Cameron Hughes. The referee gives the signal. Yeah, just hooked him with the arm. Good call there. Again, another foul away from the basketball. And we've always said different associations tend to, focus on different things. I think the ref's done a nice job tonight. Nice. Hughes catches underneath after a 50-foot pass. Shot was blocked away. McClure has it back. He got stuck underneath the basket. They're going to whistle him for a traveling violation. 31-29. Colonels still lead by 2. 7:44 left to play in the fourth.
Altavista's going to the line the rest of the game. Prince Edward has 7. Wow, Tim Hartless with such quick feet over there to deflect that basketball. I had it coming to me. I was going to do the goalie trick.
Be a soccer coach.
I know,
too,
right?
31-29. Colonels up by 2. Both coaches coaching hard. James Scott was a full 10 feet out on the court. Referees kind of say, may slide back a bit there. 7:37 left to play in the fourth. Shot up, high rebound controlled by Josh McClure.
We always talk about it when the coach loses a coat. You can tell business gets serious. I don't think we've ever seen James Scott shed the jacket.
Likes to keep it on. Quick passing, finds it to Mateo Malbeck for 3. Oh, they called a long 2, but either way, nice offensive possession there by the Colonels. Pop passing, gets it to the left corner for Mateo Malbeck, and he drains a long 2. Scoreboard has not changed. Now it has. Colonels lead 34-29. Scratch that. They lead 34-31. Quick bucket by Kevon Braxton, and he's fouled. He'll head to the free throw line, try to cash in on the old-fashioned three-point play. 7:07 left to play in the fourth, Bob. Good shout-out coming right here. 2 people you know and love. The head colonel, Ty Gafford, and his lovely bride, Kim Gafford, listening.
The brains behind the Mayhem and Ty.
Yeah.
You know Ty's got to be happy. UVA's got a football coach now.
Yeah, they do. Bronco Mendenhall, as we said.
Is the board right? Because nobody threw up a 3 signal that I saw.
You're right. It should be 33-31. I think you're absolutely right, Bob. Let's keep an eye on that. Free throw is good. Scoreboard reads 34-32, Altavista on top. We're thinking that it should be 33-32. They called that Mateo Malbeck long shot a 2. And I think the scoreboard guy just assumed he was behind the arc, but the official clearly indicated that it was a 2. Nelson Dews, just right of center. Now he'll pass it left wing to Cameron Hughes. Further down the line, it goes to McClure. McClure will circle the defense to his right. One-hand pass to Hughes. Hughes now overhand pass to Mormon. Mormon had it swatted away. Nice defensive recovery by Zarius Jones there.
Contact, too, in the backcourt. Referees let them play on.
6:30 left to play in the ball game. Scoreboard again reads 34-32. We think the Colonels might only have 33. Braxton catches right elbow. He'll drive in, just sort of forces his way in. Shot won't fall. Second chance won't go. Colonels clear the board with a Josh McClure rebound. Malbeck going to sprint it into the front court. Over quickly to McClure. McClure head fake. Drive off the window and in. Nice job there by the Colonels. How about that, Bob? They get it to McClure on the left wing. Head fake, couple dribbles. He's to the backboard before you know it. And a soft touch off the window and in. 36-32. Nelson Dews has a steal. They're going to whistle Delquan Bigelow with a foul, trying to get it back. Colonels really, again, with the hustle, the work. You got to love the energy right now for Altavista.
5:54 to go. In regulation.
Your take on the scoreboard situation, Bob, is Nelson Dews is going to shoot a 1-and-1.
I don't know because obviously a few people have caught it. I don't think the coaches really picked up on it.
No, I think maybe they just assumed it was a 3.
Right.
I mean, you heard me when I called it. I thought Mateo Malbeck was behind the line.
The official on that far side
clearly held up
fingers. 2.
Absolutely. Free throw no good for Nelson Dews. Prince Edward going the other way. Colonels lead by 4 on the scoreboard. We think they probably only lead by 3, though, folks. Something to keep an eye on. Marty Blunt tries to drive. Mateo Malbeck with the return to sender and out of bounds. Nice block there by number 3, Mateo Malbeck. 5:38 left to play in the ball game.
Now, I'll be honest, I was not watching the other 2 officials.
Right.
I don't know if one of them held up 3, but
well, normally the official scorer will have the scoreboard operator blow the horn, and the officials will go over there and talk about it. They seem like they're just going to let this go, and the Colonels lead by 4. Let's see if it matters at the end. Prince Edward's going to start a little 1-4 set here. Try and spring somebody free for an open look. It gets in the corner in front of us to Devon Boxley. Stolen away by Mateo Malbeck. Malbeck tipped it away with the right hand. He'll finish with the right hand. Mateo Malbeck having a monster second half. Colonels lead 38-32.
And you know, Kyle, one thing I don't know why is Prince Edward throwing the ball with that far. You can shorten those passing lanes.
Sure. Don't telegraph that thing around Mateo Malbeck, too. The quick reflexes lead to a steal and a run-out bucket for number 3. Eagles basketball, I don't want to say they're in dire straits, but they have not scored in a while. They trail 38-32 to the Altavista Colonels, under 5 to play. Darius Jones, rhythm three-pointer won't fall. Nelson Dews thought about getting the rebound. Instead, he just lets it float harmlessly out of bounds. Colonel basketball on the far sideline. Nelson chatting it over with the student section. He'll turn around and discuss the play. Timeout on the court. Let's take the timeout with them. 4:42 left to play in the ball game. Colonels up by 6 or perhaps 5 on 105.5 KD Country.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellers Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet
In Alta Vista.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels with a lead. They trailed at halftime, led by 2 at the end of the third quarter. Now up by scoreboard saying 6, Bob. It could be 5.
I'm going to go with 6 at this
I'm going to go with 6. I think you're right. At this point, it's going to be hard to go back retroactively and change it. So I'll just try and make a point to not bring it up anymore.
So you'll probably bring it up 3 more times.
Exactly right. Yeah, the fact that I said that, it's like, you know, as soon as you try and forget something, that's when you remember.
I don't know if you remember many years ago at Altavista at Nelson County where Altavista froze the last 4 minutes off the clock. Don't think they need to do that tonight, but they can be judicious as they lead by 6.
Malbeck lost the handle on the way up. He gets it back on the steal. Fadeaway shot. He hits the deck, and he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot another 2. Mateo Malbeck absolutely coming to life here in this second half, folks. He tied the game for the Colonels. He gave the Colonels a lead. He had a big steal and then a run out to put the Colonels up 6.
I think Altavista is also getting Prince Edward out of what they want to do drastically.
I would agree. I think it's that hard-working, tough pressure defense that's causing it. And the Colonels working hard on offense, too, for sure.
They're shooting 2, really, from here on out. That's foul number 9. The next one's foul number 10. Mateo already at the stripe for 2. He splits them.
9 team fouls for Prince Edward.
Biggest lead of the night.
Yep, 39-32. Colonels on top by 7. Three-pointer on the way from Quantavis Nash. No good. McClure collects at the edge of the paint. Nice job by Josh McClure.
I don't know if the Colonels are uncontesting it on purpose, but in a way it's helping out because Prince Edward, I think, feels some confidence. Good for them, but really have not had a lot of offensive accolades here in the fourth quarter.
Not a lot of shots falling for the Eagles in the fourth quarter. They're back to a man-to-man defense.
3 points, and that's it.
Nelson Dews is guarded by Quantavis Nash. I'll tell you, Nelly's a tough cover, too. Nelson's just content to run some time off the clock near half court. Now he'll split the defense. Chest pass in the corner to Mateo Malbeck. Yes, sir! Malbeck from the right-hand corner does it again. Number 3 with the assist from Nelson Dews, and Mateo continues to rise to the occasion. 42-32, Colonels up 10. Wrap-around pass gets it to Quantavis Nash. He can't hit from in close. Second chance won't fall, and there's Josh McClure. Maulback doing the damage on the scoreboard. McClure doing a lot of damage on the rebounding end, and Coach Troy Harris wants to take a timeout to plan this last 3 minutes and 15 seconds. We'll plan with them. Colonels lead by a full 10 points on 105.5 KD Country.
A full line of men's Carhartt clothing has just arrived at English's The Complete Home Center. Carhartt, known for its rugged durability, making it great for work and play. English's carries coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats in sizes up to 4X and special orders available. Hunting season is here. The holidays right around the corner. So shop English's for all your Carhartt clothing at 1522 North Main Street, Altavista. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
42-32. Colonels on top by 10. They trailed at halftime, folks. Coach Troy Harris for the Altavista Colonels in his first season looking for his first career win. Meanwhile, his counterpart, James Scott, Bob, we talked about this in the pregame show, in his 34th season looking for, what we say it was, his 495th win?
Correct. Yeah. Coach Harris is probably going to be going into the tail of the tape, shall we say, this year.
Yeah.
Outpointed by a lot in terms of victories by other coaches, and also out-experienced by a lot, because I can't think of many first-year coaches. I believe Chatham has one in Charles Warren.
Yep, that's right.
But other than that, not a lot of first years that Coach Harris is going to match wits against. But he learned from playing days and coaching days.
Oh, sure did. Nelson Dews is fouled on the far sideline. Nelson continues to have a little ongoing dialogue with some of the fans on the front row here.
That's it.
At Prince Edward, and that's 5 on number 4, Delquan Bigelow. He is done early for the night, and Nelson Dews will shoot 2. Colonels are in the double bonus with 3:10 left to play in the ball game.
But if you're Altavista right here, this is not time to just close up shop, fold the tent, and go home. You want to really, finish like a champion, so to speak, and really, work on the free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. Colonels struggled from the free throw line in the first game against Brookville. They've done much better tonight, but I think you want to make as many of them as you can, without a doubt. That one goes in for Nelly. Colonels lead by 11 now.
I don't think Coach Harris is ordering free throw rebounding at this point. He wants to see them go down.
Well, absolutely. Nelson makes both. 12-point lead for the Colonels. 3:05 left to play. Eagles have got to hurry if they want to get back in it, Bob. 3-pointer from Marty Blunt, no good. Adams tried to time the jump for the rebound and couldn't. Another 3-ball on the way from Zarius Jones. That was no good. Mateo Maulback grabbed the rebound momentarily, but had it swiped away. Head fake by Nash. Nash up and under layup. Took some body contact. Shot hit the backboard, but not the rim. And he will go to the free throw line and shoot a pair himself. 2:49 left to play in the ball game. Daquan Poindexter is going to check in momentarily here after the first free throw. Subway postgame show is going to have a lot of good things to talk about, Bob. And don't get me wrong. I don't think Prince Edward's left for dead just yet. They can come back in this game. You hit a 3-ball or 2, they're right back in this. They only trail 12.
Got to get a stop, though, too. Got to get a stop or a turnover.
Both free throws didn't go. Cameron Hughes on the rebound from the right post for the Colonels. That doesn't help. Got to try and score without the clock moving any opportunity you have, and the Eagles didn't do it there. Colonel's going to play pitch and catch out on the perimeter. They've got the floor spread. The old 4 corners offense. McClure's set up in the middle at the top of the key. Nelson Dews will use the right-hand dribble and work to his right along the right sideline. Oh, no-look pass was looking for McClure. Not sure Josh was ready for it.
Not the time. Altavista needs to be doing that either.
Shovel pass from Jones. He gets it inside to Boxley. Boxley's first one won't go. Second one won't go, but he's fouled. I agree with you. I love the thought process from Nelson right there. But maybe better off to save that for another moment. I think that's what Coach Harris is telling him right now. On the other hand, you could say, hey, McClure, you got to be ready for that any time. But, so there's different ways you can play that. I don't think you can fault either guy.
No, I'll come down the side as if you're an 0-1 team, worry about getting out with the win, worry about practicing good fundamentals.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, too, though. But, I'm an old man. You don't
like that no-look stuff. Yeah. Back in my day, that's what Bob says. And he walked uphill 4 miles, uphill both ways, folks.
What's that line out there with the where people get more points if they shoot behind it? Come on now.
11-point lead for the Colonels. while we were talking, the basketball got knocked out of bounds off Mateo Malback. So Prince Edward will inbound it from the far sideline. They're still in the front court. They get it into Quantavis Nash. Nash with a couple dribbles, right hand. One-hand pass over to Blunt on the right wing. 2:05 left to play in the fourth quarter. Colonels on top by 11. Good ball movement from Prince Edward here. No shot just yet. Jones has it. Guarded tightly by Daquan Poindexter.
Colonels have won this quarter 15-4 so far, Haney.
Man, Blunt's going to try a fadeaway three. That's never a great idea. No good. Rebounded by Cameron Hughes, 10 feet away from the bucket. He hands it off to Mateo Malback, and Malback wisely going to slowly trot up the court. Pressure defense here. It looks like a sort of a 1-2-2 zone defense in the half court. They bump Daquan Poindexter out of bounds. Marty Blunt hit him with the body. And Daquan Poindexter's just going to walk over to the charity stripe for a pair of free throws. 1.5 minutes to play. 1 minute and 31 seconds to be exact left in the ball game. Colonel's up by 11.
And John Pruitt has seen this script before. He's actually started it a few times of milking the clock late in the game and keeping it away.
Great point, John Pruitt, if you joined us late. Former Colonel ball player, baseball and basketball, is an assistant coach here for Prince Edward. Has been for about 5 or 6 years now, I think. Second free throw, no good for Daquan Poindexter. He makes the front end.
Really a student of the game in all sports, too. I believe he actually helps out with football.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Eagles shovel inside to Braxton. Braxton just tries to muscle his way through. Power move on the left side of the hoop. Bucket won't fall. But the Colonels fouled him. And that foul is on number 1, Cameron Hughes. That is Cameron's third personal. Colonels 10th as a team. So both teams are in the double bonus.
Timeout.
Coach James Scott wants to take the timeout for the Eagles. Let's take it with them. Colonels lead by 12. 1:19 left to play in the fourth quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead by 12. Prince Edward with 91 seconds left, Bob. I'm not sure a comeback is realistic right now. I mean, I'm sure it's happened somewhere. I think James Scott, maybe during that timeout, just imploring his guys to play hard, focus on the fundamentals, and finish the game strong. But I don't know. I could be wrong. You think maybe he talked about a comeback type of effort in the timeout?
Well, he probably didn't say 91 seconds left either, because it's a minute 19, so that's about 12 shy.
Good point.
But, you know, I think what he said right now is, hey, anything can probably happen here. You cut the lead right there as the free throw goes down to 11.
Yeah, and certainly setting up probably some sort of full court pressure here after the free throws. Second one didn't fall in.
Or miss it and get the offensive
Yeah, Devon Boxley gets the offensive rebound after the missed free throw. Braxton's going to drive, one-on-one move. Shot won't fall. McClure with the rebound inside the paint. Josh McClure is racking up the boards again. Colonels will go quickly on the other side. Malback to the hoop from the left side. Count it. Mateo Malback has put on a show in the second half. You thought maybe the Colonels were just going to slow it down and milk some clock. Daquan Poindexter threw about a 40-foot pass along the far sideline. Malback catches around the three-point ring and then drives to the hoop and is fouled again. Malback, old-fashioned three-point play try. Free throw hit the front iron, no good, but Daquan Poindexter got a rebound. It's really not looking good for Prince Edward now. Foul committed by Quantavis Nash. I think he fouled intentionally there, Bob. It's going to send Daquan Poindexter to the charity stripe. 54.3 seconds left to play in the contest. Colonels on top, 47-34. Colonels in action again Tuesday from Brookville High School. Coach Harris mentioned the fact that the guys were itching for a rematch Wednesday in practice, talking about, hey, we get another chance at the Bees. And I'm sure Brookville, Scott Jester's squad, will be looking forward to the test as well. Both free throws go in that time for Daquan Poindexter. Chancellor Mormon's going to check in the ball game for Daquan. On the court right now for the Colonels, Traquan Farmer, Chancellor Mormon, Cameron Hughes, Nelson Dews, Mateo Malback. 50 seconds remain in the ball game. Nash will drive. Right-hand lay-in won't fall. Bumped ever so slightly by Nelson Dews, but the referees thought it was enough to affect the shot. And that will send Quantavis Nash to the free throw line. He's a 5'8 junior. He gets the ball quickly and fires it up to the hoop. Nothing but net swish on the free throw. 49-34. Colonels lead at 15. We were wondering, I know I said I wasn't going to bring it up, but we were wondering if that Mateo Malback long two that got counted as a three would matter. It looks like it's not going to matter. Offensive rebound collected by the Eagles, stuck back up and in by Kevon Braxton. He's going to get a chance to go to the charity stripe and make it a three-point play. Foul was on number 30, Josh McClure. That's his fifth.
Yep.
And Josh McClure will leave the game 41.3 seconds early. Good game, though, for Josh McClure. Again, nice round of applause from the Colonel fans that are here and maybe even a few of the Eagle fans. Another great effort from Josh McClure. Free throw won't go. Kevon Braxton must have missed that shot, Bob, because he's shooting two.
Yeah.
I thought it went in.
I'm missing a point somewhere,
Okay.
too.
All
So,
right.
you know how...
Hey, it's early in the year for us, too, folks.
Right.
Can we use that? Can we use that when we get into, like, February still?
We didn't practice last night on a college basketball game by doing our scoreboard.
Colonels lead by 13. Kickball on the offensive end as Daquan Poindexter try to bounce pass through the defense. Jacob Adams is going to head to the scorer's table and check in. He will join Cameron Hughes, Daquan Poindexter, Nelson Dews, and Mateo Malback. 36 seconds left in the ball game. Colonels lead by 13. Guarantee you the Subway postgame show is going to be a real blast. Nelson Dews caught the inbound pass, then lost the handle. Jacob Adams is able to steal it back for the Colonels. He hands to Mateo Malback, and Malback just wrapped up and fouled, almost a bear hug routine in there from Zarius Jones. So Malback's going to get a chance to add to his point total, which I'm sure is pretty stout right now, Bob. Shout out to our good friends Michi Malback and Donovan Montague, two former Colonels down there at UVA Wise. Don't know if they're tuned in on a Friday night. You know what Friday nights in college were like, Bob. Sometimes you didn't want to just sit around and listen to a ball game. You had other plans. But, hey, if they're tuned in, let us know you're tuned in, guys. Malback toes the free throw line. The right-handed shooter will put the free throw up. It rattles around and finally falls in to give the Colonels 50 points. That's the old 50-point mark that our colleague Mark Slusher used to talk about.
Doc Slusher talks about that. That is, I had Mateo's total, and you messed me up.
I'm sorry. Missed the second
Nothing
free
ever
throw.
good comes from you talking.
It's a shame, isn't it? Oh, up and under lay-in will go from Marty Blunt. The unorthodox shot from long-haired Marty Blunt. Colonels will throw long on the inbound. We got 10 seconds left. They get it to Jacob Adams. Adams up and in for two. Clock down to 5. Colonels are going to win this one. Just a question of by how much. Number 3, Quantavis Nash deposits 2 more points for the Eagles, and we've got our final total, 52-40. Colonels win by 12. Troy Harris, his first career victory. Subway postgame show, we'll get to talk about that and so much more. Hope you'll come back and join us from Prince Edward High School. Colonels win on 105.5 KD Country.
The memory of the loss of a loved one can be difficult to cope with during the holiday season. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service invites you to a holiday remembrance service Sunday, December 6th at 4 p.m. Pastor Stephen Rabin of Cross Point Church, Altavista, will conduct a special service to honor families who've lost a loved one during the past year. Sunday, December 6th, 4 o'clock, Finch & Finch Funeral Chapel, Altavista. For a special webcast, visit FinchandFinchFuneralService.com.
Hello, this is Jerry Motley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Start your business on a winning note with an Altavista revolving loan. It's an opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Connect with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis II at Altavista Town Hall. Make your move today. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show is underway. The Colonels with their first victory of the season, evening their record at 1-1. It was a 12-point win over Prince Edward. Bob and I will recap it all, probably some more shout-outs, some more hijinks. It's always a lot of fun here on the Subway postgame show. I'm sure I'm going to say at some point, I'm going to call you Oscar at some point. I'm going to call it the Subway pregame show at some point if I haven't already. And I'll probably make a few other mistakes. But you know what? I'm human too, Bob. I'm a human being, and I'm enjoying this basketball season. Football season's fun. I know you've still got the football thing going on. Maybe we'll touch on that as well. But I'm really pumped about hoop season. You know how I like to get indoors.
You are very much an indoors person in your life. And Altavista, very much a winning person tonight as they get a 52-40 victory.
It was a nice win for the Colonels here, Bob. They trail at halftime, use a good third quarter to take the lead, and then in the fourth quarter really did a number on the Prince Edward Eagles. Let's take a quick time out here in the Subway postgame show. Give us a chance to collect our thoughts. As scattered as they are, we need all the time we can get to collect our thoughts. We'll come back with some stats. We'll talk about Subway. We'll talk about Bob and I. We'll talk about the Colonels, this one, and what's next. Altavista, 12-point winner over Prince Edward. You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant, so we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today. El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family, see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels with the 12-point victory over the Prince Edward Eagles. You heard it all live with the TuneIn app at kdcountry.com or on 105.5. Maybe you didn't hear it all live, but we don't mind if you stop by for portions and then bounce in and out. We know you got things going on this Friday evening, first Friday in December, as Bob mentioned. Not too cold out there. It's a little bit chilly. I mean, you need a jacket, but nothing brutal out there at all. And Bob, this was a fun basketball game. This is a good one to get you started. It was my second game of the year. Colonels, as I mentioned, up the record to 1-1. It started out in the first quarter and in the first half in particular. Colonels were working hard on offense and on defense. They weren't getting a lot of shots to fall. They certainly weren't hitting very many jump shots, similar to Tuesday night. But we mentioned, they looked strong. They looked like they're playing hard. The energy level was good. Then in the third and fourth quarters, boy, the shots did start falling, and they really even picked up their effort that much more, come away with a 12-point victory. I mean, I don't think either one of us at halftime thought it was going to be a 12-point victory on either side. We figured this was going to be close down the stretch, but the Colonels really just spring to life in that fourth quarter and pull away.
I don't know how many people thought it was going to be a 12-point, not just you and I, but a lot of people here. It was all Altavista late, and Mateo Malbec gets a big tip of the hat for that.
Oh, huge, huge. We will talk about Mateo more as the Subway postgame show rolls on. Let me tell you more about Subway. You can make any 6-inch sub a deluxe for just 50 cents more, and that's a good deal. That means you double the meat on that thing, Bob. I know you're a big fan. Bob had the spicy Italian tonight. I had Flattisa Friday, which I tend to do, but I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit more, particularly on the Tuesday and Wednesday games, because that's something Oscar and I, we kind of got on ourselves about, Bob, is we kind of fall into those routines, much like everything in life. But with so many great options at Subway, we said, hey, we're really doing ourselves a disservice to not mix it up and try some different things. So that's what I'm going to do. Plus, I want to be able to tell the fans about the different options as well. Simple 6 menu at Subway. That's 6 of their best 6-inch sub options, all for just $6. And shout out to the Subway gang. I know Kendra was working at Main Street, she said, till 7. I don't know if she's listening right now or not. But anyway, shout out to the whole gang there at Subway, all 3 locations, Main Street, Walmart on the Clarion Road, and Foster Fuels on Route 29. Another quick time out on the Subway postgame show. And Bob and I return with stats, the Radio Shack player of the game, and who knows what else. Make sure you stay tuned. Colonel's a 12-point winner in Farmville over Prince Edward. It was all live on 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Sam with Best Bet Motor Sales. We started business over 5 years ago with only 10 vehicles and a simple concept to help people out that had less than perfect credit and give them good quality cars. Over the years, we evolved into 2 lots in Central Virginia with over 60 cars in inventory, and we do all types of budget, all types of credit. So remember, if your credit's less than perfect, give us a call here at Best Bet Motor Sales. All cars come with a 90-day, 5,000-mile warranty with the Best Bet Back Guarantee. So for a fun, stress-free buying experience, give us a call. Best Bet Motor Sales, Route 29 South.
It's a good show, man.
Man, that was awesome.
Loud crowd. House salad time.
I'll bring it on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have to do the encore tonight, buddy.
No, they want to see your face.
Go chant your name.
Not it, man. They're saying Brett.
Well, I'm taking this with me.
No. I'll hold it for you.
Seriously, don't touch my salad.
Time for my encore now, son.
The House Salad. Grilled chicken atop mixed greens, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, cheddar and jack cheeses, and fried onions. Served with Texas toast. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road, Lynchburg.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show returns for its final segment. Another special shout out to our sound engineer, Eleanor Haney. She was a judge in the Altavista Christmas Parade yesterday, Bobby, and you're a big fan of the judges on the boxing end, and I believe a couple of your good buddies from SET were the judges with her. Dave Walls was one, and who was a third? Do you remember?
I wasn't there,
okay,
so I don't know.
All right, okay. I didn't know if maybe the conversation.
You know some Dave Walls. Dave Walls is a good friend of ours. I think
like
he's an acquaintance of yours. At
Absolutely.
least you trivied up with him.
Absolutely.
I could keep guessing. I mean,
let's not.
Was it a female or a male?
Let's move on. Let's talk basketball. Maybe it'll come to me while we're talking some hoops. Bob has some final statistics for us, and I have a feeling I know who the big gun and the high man as far as the points go for the entire ball game is going to be. But, Bob, you take it away.
Thank you, Kyle. Altavista, Cameron Hughes had 3. Josh McClure with 10. Nelson Hughes with 8. Mateo Malbec led everybody with 21. Daquan Poindexter had 4, and Jacob Adams had 6. For the Eagles of Prince Edward, it was Zarius Jones with 4. 17 points from Kevon Braxton. 7 points from Quintavis Nash. 6 points from Delquan Bigelow. 3 points from Cedric Hensley, 2 points from Blunt, and a free throw contributed by Davion Boxley. That, of course, that would be Marty Blunt with the deuce, and Altavista comes away winners 52-40 here from Prince Edward County.
Yeah, Marty Blunt, full name Martavius, but they listed him as Marty on one of the rosters that I found. And I kind of prefer that since we had the Back to the Future thing. Marty, it's pretty cool.
You think Marty
like
Barrett, former second baseman of the Red Sox, was named Martavius?
I don't know. I thought you were going to ask if he was listening.
He might be. I don't know.
I know that. Hey, Bob, let me ask you something because I know you keep this information. How much of Mateo's 21 came in the second half
18.
there? It looks like 18 of the 21 in the second half. I said he came to life. That's coming to life.
Yeah. He definitely shown. But, hey, Mateo doesn't get that 21 if it's not for the good play from the other guys. A lot of great distribution, a lot of great rebounding, and a lot of great defense. And that gives Altavista the victory.
Absolutely. I think about a lot of nice assists from Nelson Dews on a couple of those points.
Right.
Obviously, Nelly worked hard all game. Josh McClure, again, we don't call him the blue-collar man for nothing. I mean, nobody works harder than Josh McClure on the glass. And all 90 feet, baseline to baseline, Josh McClure getting it done. Let's do some Radio Shack Player of the Game brought to you by Radio Shack on Main Street in Altavista. Also, your home for White's Music Shop. They've got some really good guitars in there, some guitar picks, guitar strings, drumsticks, that kind of thing. You get a jam session going on, Bob. You break a string. You don't want to have to drive to Lynchburg or Danville to get strings, so you drive over there to Radio Shack in Altavista. I've been going first, so why don't I go first for the home team, the Prince Edward Eagles. Easy to pick the high point guy, Kevon Braxton. I'm going to go in a different direction. I like what Delquan Bigelow did. He's a shifty, speedy guard out there, much like his running back play, and I thought he performed nicely for the Eagles.
As you would say, it's easy to pick the high guy, so that's what I'm going to do. Braxton with 17 as Troy Harris gets a handshake. I'll tell you, it feels great to touch greatness
Doesn't
there.
it? Doesn't it?
He walks away, and, hey, been here, done this before. The first one, toughest one to get. Now you're all good to go.
Absolutely. On the other side, for the Altavista Colonels, this might be a little bit easier. It's not all about points, but you can't deny what number 3, the junior, Mateo Malbach, did in the second half. 6 points in the third quarter, 12 points in the fourth. As I mentioned, Bob, he had the 2 that tied it up. He had the 2 that gave him a 2-point lead. He gave him a 6-point lead, and then he just kept going after that. I think we both got to agree on this one, don't you, Mateo Malbach?
Don't see how you can go another direction on that one. A lot of other good, outstanding individual efforts, but I think Mateo definitely becomes the guy.
Very quickly, before we get out of Dodge, let's talk about the next time the Colonels are back on the hardwood. That's Tuesday night at Brookville. Oscar Briggs is going to be back with me on that one, but you know Scott Jester and the Bees, and you're certainly an astute basketball fan. You've seen the Colonels once. Any quick thoughts on Tuesday night, the rematch against the Brookville Bees?
Former battle roommates. Troy Harris and Scott Jester.
I didn't even think about it from that end.
Coach Jester and Coach Harris, I mean, in a way, it's kind of a carbon copy. I mean, they really work their guys hard. They've got some experience, too, on the bench. I believe Chris Glaze still helping out Coach Jester as well as Kim Woodford. And, it's a tight-knit group, which always, I think, helps when you see that the coaches are one and then the players get to be one. So, definitely should be a good one. Really a toss-up. And Campbell County rivalry, throw the records out the window.
Throw the records and the rule book sometimes out the window,
I think we're going to have 3 officials that are going to keep the rule book in the window.
Yes, I think you're right. Coach Troy Harris getting a final sip of water. Well-deserved congratulations to him on the first career victory. And a well-deserved thanks to our starting lineup, the folks that make it all possible. People like the Moose Family Center in Altavista, bringing communities closer together and celebrating life. Best Bet Motors, a respected name you can trust, Route 29 just south of the airport. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. The Altavista Office of Economic Development, helping Altavista grow. Shout out to the good buddy Dennis Jarvis. Don't know if he was listening tonight or not. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction service. KCD Maintenance, Ken can do it. Maintenance, call Kenny, 665-1333. That's 3 3s, folks, if it's hard to remember. Maybe that makes it easier to remember. I don't know, Bob. Shout-outs to our good pals at El Cazador on Main Street in Altavista. Be sure to try their new menu, and You know a lot of the gang at El Cazador.
Yeah.
Stephen,
Heard it is
Adrian,
Mexican.
Carlos. It is Mexican, yes. They have some American food there as well, though, particularly for the little kids.
Right.
You know, the little tykes, they don't like the guacamole.
The amigos and
in
the
it.
amigas.
Right. You still can't spell it. Guacamole, that is, but eat it on everything now. Where were we? Yes, Highview Motors GMC. From small to tall, Highview has it all. Our good friend George Rosser, a big Colonel fan. English's, your complete home center, now offering the complete line of Carhartt clothing for men. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. I got it right that time. Fellers Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. Of course, they sponsor our YouTube rebroadcast. You can go listen to the Colonels, pretty much 99% of all the games on demand there. We'll get this one up so we can hear Coach Troy Harris's first career victory, and the first win in the 2015 season for the Altavista Colonels was a good one. That's going to do it for us.